Hi, how are you both today?
We are good, mate. How are
Good.
you?
We're doing really good.
I'm okay, thanks. I really enjoyed the film. It was a great film. So I was wondering, how did this project come about and what gave you the idea to make this film?
I think we wanted to focus on ghosts because even if perhaps we don't personally believe in them, there's always somebody that you know, a trusted family member or a friend that swears that they believe in them, even though we remain incredulous. So we were always asking ourselves, why is that? Why do people have such a strong affinity with ghosts? Why do they believe in them? And so that sort of came about by creating this idea of a woman working her first night shift in a motel, and then she starts to get haunted, and how that kind of relates to her character.
And it's also like finding a fresh angle in a familiar horror trope. So when you think of like the haunted motels that we so often get, it was just like, well, how do you tell that through fresh eyes with a different theme, like something that modern audiences haven't expected before? So it's like by, sort of flipping the setting by sort of setting in a desert setting and have someone like Lamorne running a motel as opposed to an old creepy guy and just finding
Mm,
little areas to play with it and make it a bit more unique, particularly with the protagonist's journey as well. Just be meticulous in its execution and having a few surprises along the way.
I don't believe in ghosts. And
Yeah.
I was wondering, um, you both write and direct together. So how is the process of doing it together?
It's a really seamless and effortless process. I think we kind of almost be at a loss without each other, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's second nature. But just being twins and growing up together and being inseparable, it's I don't, it's hard to explain, I guess. Maybe other twins might say the same thing if they work together. But yeah, it's I think we consider ourselves to be fortunate.
Yeah, it's funny with that as well. We know a few other twins who don't work in the arts, who work in elsewhere, and they always kind of stick together as well and work together. It's on a completely different field. So maybe it's a twin thing, I don't know, but yeah, we've always found it to be quite effortless, and we can just sort of bounce off each other constantly.
I guess because you grow up with each other as well throughout all the years.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
did this story change at all from the start of writing it to when you got to filming?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. The story always kind of changes from the script to shooting and then to editing. It finds its own life in those three different separate art forms. I know that it was changing it to having it as a desert setting, because originally in the first draft of the script it wasn't set in the desert, right? But once
Makes
we knew
sense.
we were shooting in California, we made some necessary changes to accommodate the script and to accommodate the budget and our location. It was tricky though, because the actual motel that we shot at was surrounded by, there was a hospital, a railroad track, and numerous other buildings. And we had to give the impression that it was in the middle of nowhere. And so that came down to shot composition, but also some CGI work in post-production, which took a long time. But hopefully it worked well on screen and people do believe it.
Yeah, I did believe it. It looked
Right.
very cool. And did the cast, what was the cast reaction like to the script twist when reading the script?
Yeah, I think they found it sort of very compelling, because it's a unique take on that, like by believing our protagonist for so long and then having sort of like twists and turns, particularly in that third act. Um, it's the way that journey is executed. So like as an actor, they'll find sort of like really good strengths to that and it appeals to them. And also just like even with the supporting cast, how they add to that element in their own like unique way is compelling. So they were really sort of drawn to it, particularly because we shot the film in barely any time and with little resources. So to have like a cast of that magnitude, sort of really drawn to the script and sort of believe what Paul and I were trying to do, was so wonderful to have.
Especially with Phoebe Tonkin, because I mean she's tremendous in the film and she's a wonderful actress and she's on screen for like 95% of the time, often alone. And she's just walking around and interacting with some guests or doing things by herself. And she still has to hold and captivate the audience's attention. And that's not an easy sort of trait to accomplish, but Phoebe definitely did that in spades. She's got a wonderful screen presence as well.
And to particularly do that as well with moments of levity as well. So, you have the horror, you have the drama, but to just find those little pockets to keep it humorous, to keep it fun and engaging. And obviously we had that with supporting as well, particularly with the likes of Lamorne. But with Phoebe, it was just like it was certainly a task for her, and she sort of nailed that execution really well.
She is a very talented actress. And how did you go about finding Phoebe to cast for the role and the other cast?
Well, they were all at the top of the list, and we didn't expect to get them without criticizing ourselves in that it by saying that they were just such wonderful cast members, and again, I think we were really lucky and fortunate to get them and to have them engage with the script and the characters and to really breathe life into the story. And especially, I think, like with what Ben was saying earlier, like by having somebody like Lamorne Morris play the motel owner, who in any other cliched version of the script or story would be like this old cantankerous, character who you didn't trust and was creepy. But instead we had Lamorne, who's just shooting off jokes left, right, and center, and it adds new life to it.
And also finding the balance as well between those three leads. Like once you've cast one, it's like, well, who do you look at for the others? Like Teddy and Alice. It's like finding people who can like really work together, bring something unique. Because casting really is everything. So with those three leads in particular, it was just joyful. They really got our vision, and it was terrific.
I found the humor in it quite good as well. And
Right.
were the rats in the film props or real? And if they were real, what was it like working with them?
That's another great question.
Yeah.
They were
Really.
real. They were real for the shots when nobody was interacting with them. If I remember from
Aside from the one with Alice on the shoulder.
Yeah, there was
real.
there was time at one time.
But we had an excellent animal wrangler, and so yeah, they were really sweet and cuddly, and so it was our job to try and make them the complete opposite. And obviously with the help of the animal expert, we managed to do that. But they were really sweet. And we didn't have as many. We then had to sort of add in some visual effects afterwards to try and make them sort of, particularly later on, appear that there's a dozen of them or so. But yeah, they were really sweet.
And can you share any deleted scenes from this film?
We shot everything, which was another rarity. We managed to get everything that we had. Yeah, we shot in 17 days, which is incredibly fast. We were shooting at night. And we worked at a very fast pace and managed to get everything that was on the page. So we were fortunate in that sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got everything.
That's cool. And with the hotel motel thing, it looked quite dark and stuff. But then at the end of the film, it was all bright and colorful. So I was wondering, how long was it to change from dark to really bright and colorful? And did anyone go swimming in the pool between takes?
The way the motel looks at the end of the movie is how it looks naturally. So we shot that scene first over the course of like 2 days, and then we had to decorate it. And with like the sort of talented production designer and her team, they managed to really turn it into this sort of creepy motel with like where every room had a different theme, and it sort of tied into what the characters were going through, and yeah, that entire department really nailed it. It was wonderful to see. And the pool itself was actually empty, so then we had to like sort of create the sinkhole ourselves with the design team. But it's funny actually because the motel owner was on set one day and he walked past the pool and he saw the sinkhole there and he just started flipping out and it was just like, "You guys have ruined my pool." We're like, no, it's fake, it's production design. You can check it out if you want. But yeah, it was fun.
And will there be a sequel or more of a slasher sequel?
If only, I mean, that would be a fun avenue to explore. Should we ever have that possibility?
Particularly with like the character dynamic and how far Gwen, her mental state is now would be really interesting to explore. Plus, you can always bring Teddy back, right? I mean, like it ends on an ambiguous note for Lamorne. But
my final question is, before I go, is at the end of the film, Phoebe's character could only see the girls she killed. Was there a reason she couldn't see any of the boys that she killed?
Yeah, we sort of I think we knew by having with her, giving spoilers here, but by focusing on the family, that was the main trauma that she was suffering from. And because she had the closest relationship with Alice, we decided by having Alice at the end, we thought it would have the most detrimental effect on her. But of course, her mental state is so far gone that she tries to just carry on and keep up a fake facade, But
I think like Paul said, particularly with the family, and then having Alice there because Alice, they had that bond, and from the audience perspective, you sort of really care for Alice and you think she's gonna, no spoiler or anything, but like you think she's gonna make it, and sadly doesn't. So just like I think that really sort of adds the emotional impact for Phoebe seeing her at the end, and hopefully the audience too.
Yeah, I was quite shocked at the end as well. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much for this interview. I really enjoyed the film, and I'm excited to see your future work.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. We really
You're
appreciate the time. It was great. It was great talking to you.
It was nice talking to you as well. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too,
man.
Thanks,
Bye.
man.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Bye.
It's Gwen, right?
Gwen Taylor.
Teddy Miles. This is my place. Look, I know it looks as if the damn Addams family used to live here. But trust me, this place is harmless. Huh! Really gotta get this thing fixed. Oh, boy. Now, we got 20 cabins, all are basically identical. If you take to the job, then maybe we can make it a regular thing.
Right, it'd be great. What kind of security do you have here?
Security? Well, if you want, there's a fire axe next to the vending machine. Nobody's gonna mess with you if you're swinging that thing around, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to the night shift.
Excuse me. Are you okay?
You know this place is haunted, right? Oh my God.
How does this dump even stay open? People have probably died here, right?
In other news, authorities have yet to apprehend a convicted murderer who escaped a facility Wednesday evening.
It's for you.